So folks, welcome. This is Cool TV. We coming to you live from the St. Paul River here in Bong Mines, and we are here to witness the groundbreaking ceremony of the newly constructed hydro, a new dam that will be constructed in 2 years from now by the Liberia Electricity Corporation. They are here to break grounds for a dam to feed 4 to 5 counties in Liberia that will approximately give more power like the Mount Coffee Hydro in Montserrat County. So folks, my name is Daniel Theophilus Cole, and this is St. Paul River around the Bong Mines belt around Hendy Town, and this is also Bong County respectively. So we are here to witness this groundbreaking ceremony. Be with us as we go through the program. This is Cool 91.9 FM Cool TV. My name is Daniel Theophilus Cole. So just to give you a clear picture of where this dam will be constructed, this area, but they are doing the flexibility studies, and the LEC management is here with journalists, and they are doing the groundbreaking ceremony today here in Bong Mines, Bong County.
Today we are here to tour you through, to provide an enhanced understanding to the media and the general public, the proactive steps LEC has taken as an institution to be able to kill down the issue of energy stability. As you are aware that one of the major challenges we have in Liberia, especially with the issue of electricity, is the issue of unstable electricity. And this is why, as a process mechanism that is being practiced all over the world, we introduce what we call load shedding. And the load shedding is to be able to provide electricity to a certain part of our country, not to perpetually shut down on all of the different areas and customers that we serve. So as part of that, we were able, as a Liberian management team headed under the stewardship of Honorable Money Captain, in just about 1 year, 6 months, we have secured a $300 million for the construction of a new dam. As I said here, this is where the dam will be constructed. And we'll have with us Mr. Bill Higgins, who is the project director, who will give you technical details of the entire scope of what we intend to do here. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the general public, the Liberia Electricity Corporation is making all proactive steps and taking all giant steps to ensure that we bridge the gap of this energy instability. And this is why we have come today with the media and our project director in line with the community to be able to conduct this field trip. Possibly by next month, in March, we will be starting off the feasibility studies to tell you how serious LEC is in terms of making and ensuring that development and energy expansion, we expand customer base, and there are a lot of other direct and indirect benefits. This project that will last approximately over 3 years, you will realize that it would increase long-term and short-term employment. And people of this same very community, this same very county, Liberians at large, will benefit from this same project. And you will as well realize that this is happening just because of a Liberian management team that is led by serious-minded people, people who understand. Despite we have several challenges, this is why we have come today to be able to kickstart this project. So not with much ado, I will now turn to Mr. Bill Higgins, and the project director and of the LESAP, and he will give you technical details of why we are here. My name is Philip Farley, and I am the director for communication, information, and public affairs at the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Mr. Higgins, you're welcome.
Thank you, Philip. And yes, thanks very much, Philip. Yes, I'm really pleased to be here today. My name is Bill Hakin. As you've already heard, I'm the project director for the Project Implementation Unit, which sits within LEC. I'm responsible for the delivery of Respite, which is a World Bank funded project, approximately $300 million. And I'll go into that a little bit more in detail later. I'm very honored, and thank you so much for a warm welcome from the Paramount Chief and from the clan chiefs as well. I'm really pleased to be here. It's not my first time to Liberia. I was here between 2015 and 2018 as the project director for the Mount Coffee Rehabilitation Project, which is now capable of producing 88 megawatts. Okay. The project we're talking about here, SP2, is 2 to 3 times the size of Mount Coffee. I'd also like to thank for the support from His Honourable Representative Fode of this district for those strong words of encouragement. Projects are built by people, right? It's not systems and programs and computer programs and stuff. It's actually built by people. And unless we have the strong support of the local community, which we have, and which has already been given to us during the geotechnical investigations for this project, and unless we have the support of government, which we have, there was an intervention in January when we started looking in more detail at SP2, which was strongly supported by the new president of Liberia. So these international projects have to be delivered to a very high standard of technical and environmental and social safeguards. If we don't have these high standards in place, we don't get the funding from the World Bank, and then there's no project. So it's really important that the team that I'm now building at the PIU is filled with the best people that we can find. Some of those people will be international because they have the skills. Myself, I've been an engineer for 40 years in dams and hydropower. I've worked not only in Liberia, but I've worked in Australia and I've worked in the Philippines developing hydropower schemes like this. But one of the key focuses of the Project Implementation Unit is while we deliver this project, we will be building capacity in Liberian people. We've already gone out to recruit 2 hydropower engineers and 2 graduates from Liberia who will come into the PIU and they will be trained up. During the development of the Mount Coffee hydropower project, we had 5 Liberian engineers which we trained. They worked day to day with me and my other colleagues. They are now in senior positions in LEC. Okay, so the whole objective for me is I want to make myself redundant. All right, so in 3 or 4 years' time, I want somebody to replace me, and I want that person to be a Liberian. Okay. I'm going to start talking a little bit more in detail about the Respite project and the funding. First of all, the World Bank and the West African Power Pool have been successful in securing for the government of Liberia funding to expand Mount Coffee. Right, so Mount Coffee is currently 88 megawatts. We are hopefully going to be able to add another 40 to 60 megawatts to Mount Coffee. Okay. The other project that the World Bank is funding under the Respite project is a solar power project in Mount Coffee, which is another 20 megawatts. Okay. So those are very important projects. They are nation-building projects which will enable LEC to provide more power to more people. Currently, as you're probably all aware, Liberia, probably the population of Liberia, which is 5 million people or thereabouts, only about 20% of the population of Liberia have access to grid electricity. That is one of the lowest rates of electrification in the world. Okay, so we've got a lot of work to do, and we're so grateful for the funding and the support of the World Bank and WAP to help us deliver these projects. As far as SP2 is concerned, so SP2's as a project planning exercise started about 2 years ago. Okay, a feasibility study which involved geotechnical investigations, which you're well aware of because you helped support the teams there, plus environmental and social studies, plus a concept design. Currently, we're looking at between 150 and 250 megawatts, which basically makes the project, as I said, 2 or 3 times the size of Mount Coffee. Okay? But it doesn't stop there, because in the 1980s, a plan was developed by Stanley Consultants out of America, which looked at the whole of the St. Paul River to develop various so-called cascade hydropower projects. So as we move further upstream from Mount Coffee to SP2, these are both what we call run-of-river schemes. They don't have a lot of storage capacity in the dam. Only when we build SP4, which is on the confluence of the Via River upstream, do we actually have storage which can help us through the dry period. You all well know that this river here is incredibly strong during the rainy season. We can often see 1,500 cubic meters a second coming down this river. Right now, we hardly have 40 or 50 cubic meters a second. At Mount Coffee, that's only enough to feed 1 generator out of 4. So during the dry season, we have to rely on either importing from the CLSG backbone, or we have to rely on generating power from diesel generators, which are expensive and not very good for the environment. So the idea for Mount Coffee extension and for SP2 is to consider these schemes as what we call hybrid schemes. They operate under solar power and hydropower. And the more we can maximize the use of solar power and hydropower working together, the less we have to import and the less oil and diesel we have to burn to create power. So it's 2 things. It's producing clean energy and it's producing lower cost energy. Okay. So just to delve a little bit deeper into SP2, you know as well as I do that we're in a fairly flat country. We don't have big mountains here, which means that any dam on the river, on the St. Paul River, has to be a very long dam and it can't be very high. Okay, so this dam, for example, is only about 25 or 30 meters high. It's about the same height as Mount Coffee. It's going to be much longer. It's going to be about 6 kilometers long. And as I mentioned, we're looking at potentially either 150 or maybe 250 megawatts, and there will also probably be a solar power project here as well to help during the dry season. Okay. I'll give you a little bit of introduction about the timeline. So SP2, the feasibility studies have been going for 2 years. Okay, myself and my colleagues, strongly supported by LEC senior management, are doing everything we can to get additional funding for SP2. The World Bank have already committed 40% approximately, which is about $300 million for SP2. Okay, but that's not enough. It's about 40%. We need additional funding, and therefore we're working hard to attract international funding agencies. Some of them may be the ones that we had at Mount Coffee, for example, are very keen to come back because of the success of Mount Coffee. They may come back and they may also provide additional funding. We hope that probably by the end of next year, we will have secured enough funding for SP2 to go ahead. Okay. By then, the feasibility studies will be done, the reference design will be done, and we will be looking at procuring contractors to start building in 2026. As was mentioned earlier as well, for every year that we can get this scheme in place and generating power, the revenue that flows into the economy from that is worth hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So every year that we can save with the government's strong support, we will do. One of the things we can, for example, do in order to fast track the project is to build the road from Bong mines to here, okay, early. Right, so that's one of the what we call pre-construction activity before the main works actually start. Okay. So what else can I say? It's an incredibly challenging project. The hard work is still to come. Right, we need the strong support of LEC senior management. We need local support like from you guys. We need the World Bank support. We need international funders. We need to create the perception and the real belief that this SP2 project is being delivered to the highest international standards. Otherwise, we won't attract that funding, okay, and there's no project. We are competing from World Bank funds, for World Bank funds and for other donor funds with many, many projects all over the world. In Nepal, in Pakistan, all over the world. We have to make sure that SP2 has got a fantastic brand, that people believe in it, that it's being delivered to the best standards. I myself have gone to many international dam and hydropower conferences where we talked about Mount Coffee rehabilitation. And although it's quite a small project on the world stage, it's amazing how many delegates at these international conferences know about Mount Coffee, right? It's a small project, but it's got a big history. It's got a fantastic history, and it was a big success, which was supported by government. We hope and we're sure that the government will continue to support these projects. And I look forward to doing that, doing my part, to building the capacity in the PIU while we deliver these projects. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come back here in the first place, because of this challenge, because these projects are nation building. I can have much more influence here helping hydropower projects in Liberia than working on hydropower projects in Australia, for example. My impact here is much more. I feel welcome here, and my past projects, Mount Coffee Rehabilitation, gave me a lot of insight and a deep love of the Liberian people. The last thing I'd like to say, to give you an idea of numbers here, during Mount Coffee Rehabilitation, there were up to 1,000 people employed during the construction of that project. 2/3 of that number, which is about 600 people, were Liberians. Okay, these are similar figures that we hope to have here. Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
to move forward.
Great. So let me just reinforce the gratitude extended by Williams to Mr. Higgins. We want to say thank you again for the continuous support and the mindset you have to see in Liberia. One thing you said very critical was to have a Liberian being your replacement.
Absolutely.
And so that is very critical and a very strong, and we wholeheartedly want to extend our gratitude. So we will take questions from the media. So we will start normally from right to left.
Okay.
So we will start with Julius Chair, and then we'll move. But you will be recognized. So you call your name, your institution, and then you pose your question.
Yeah, I'm Julius J of OKF, and two quick concerns. Who is going to
built the road to come here. When you say built the road, you're going to pave it to come here. That's one. Two, you keep saying between 150 to 250 megawatts. Can you be specific? What is the target? You want to build a 250 megawatt dam, 200 megawatts, 150? Yeah.
Good questions. So the first question was, who's going to build the road? If we can find when it goes out to tender after it's been designed, if we have the capability for a Liberian contractor to build that road.
No, I mean, who is funding it? Is it LEC?
Okay, so at the moment we're looking to get funding from probably not the World Bank, it's probably one of the other funding agencies. So my colleagues are looking at talking to the British, the Swedish, the Europeans. One of those funding agencies, probably somebody who was already involved in Mount Coffee, is going to come to the party for us. Okay. The second question you had is, can we be specific about whether it's 150 or 250? So when I came to the project, and I only started full time on this project in November last year, the consulting engineer had already done a lot of conceptual design for SP2. Basically, what we're looking at now is I've directed them to looking at this scheme as a hybrid scheme. As I said, it operates with solar and with hydropower. So the answer to your question is, before we can decide exactly what the installed capacity SP2 is going to be, we've instructed the owner's engineer to engage with one of the best consultants in the world who look at hybridization, who look at running hydropower with solar. So this is one example again where we are trying to get the best brains in the world onto our project. So that study is just about to start now, that hybridization study. Similarly, equally important is to look after the environment. So one of the big things at SP2 is we need to make sure that the ecological flow, in other words, the amount of water which is actually left over for the natural health of the river, that is another study. And again, I was on a call yesterday to one of the best consultants in the world, which come from South Africa, on eco flows or environmental flows. They will be engaged as part of the project as well. Okay.
So next,
Okay.
we'll just go.
My name is Dania and I report for Cool FM. Can you be exact on whether this hydro will be able to feed the entire Bong County, Maragibi, or a specific county?
So as far as transmission and distribution is concerned, that's more of LEC's field than mine. But I understand that there could be provision made for potentially local distribution, and of course the Bong mines, who could be a major client for LEC. Do you want to add to that?
Sure. So no, I just want to take them. Are you done with your question?
So I can
Yeah,
touch on that
yes,
a little bit.
go ahead, sir.
So 150 megawatt to 250 megawatt, that's a lot of power. Look at my coffee alone is generating 88 megawatt at the peak of the rainy season when all the turbines are turning. So this power is sufficient enough to answer your question directly, to supply most of these counties that you need. And it's also sufficient. It's not only being generated for this county, it is a national project that will be fed in the national grid to ensure that all Liberians have access to electricity. So it's not only for these communities or these counties adjacent to this project site.
Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Trojan, and of course I report for Prime FM. You kept saying, you said you've raised 300 million already, and you said that's just 40% of what you need. Can we know how much this entire project will cost? Because now you're talking about 40%, it means you still have to raise 60% more funding, or can you not tell us now, is it dependent on the feasibility studies when it's completed before you get to know? But if you do, can you tell us how much this project will cost, the entire project?
So when we talked about the 150 megawatt scheme, the intention of the engineer at that time was that we have two stages to the project. We do the 150 and then we come back later for another 100, which makes it 250. The original cost estimate of the 150 scheme were between 500 and 600 million. If we go for the 250 scheme, and if we add additional solar power, we're going up to probably the 700, and that's where we get to the approximately 40% funding that's been pledged by the World Bank, which is the 300 million. So 300 million represents about 40% of potentially a $700 million project.
On behalf of the local leader. Okay. Kuka Berenga.
We are better people.
Kalau ngai kere kwa dia kupabe.
All the children are here with me today.
Aklanji ni kan nwe ngeme be.
This is my clan chief who is here.
General Tanji kan nwe me nyakang.
This is my general clan chief.
So kuline.
We are happy, really happy.
Platina welcome kaman boy.
The traditional welcoming you're talking about today,
Nene ngandi gbede.
the women here fix it,
Ke kwa de le da ku kapable.
but we left it in the town because we should have done it in the town and not here.
Ke kwalpol.
When we go back in the town,
Ko ba ge no.
we will do it there. We'll not forget about it.
Because kuline kwa kwa munga ngi basa.
Because we are so happy and we want all of you to sleep here today,
Ko ba ka la kule.
we'll give you a sleeping place. You shouldn't worry
Ko me kuline.
because we are really happy to have you here.
Many ka ge be.
What you are about to do here today,
First time ka da ge ka ba.
this is the first time to see this kind of project in our community.
So kwa program ka ka pa.
So when you bring in this kind of project in our community,
Te kwa ku ye se mu.
it is important for us to put our hands on it, for us to support it.
Ko ka se.
We say, thank you very much.
Ku ye se ka mu.
We are supporting you.
Kwa ngwa ge meninga. Tina ku nga ngosa ke.
We want for the project to even start like today.
Ko ngwa ku nga ge katen wis kema.
We want no delay with this project. That's
So
what
nu
we are
tama da
supporting.
mo ba de o no de pano ka boy, de pano dama nguma, de pano go nguma get lipo.
Because some people came here, they said the project will not stand, and they told us that some of the work that have been done here, maybe they are taking good, especially with geotechnical,
Yes.
and those are all lies.
So ka se pa.
So we say, thank you very much.
Anu nga kile ba de la to tete.
And my people know just call their name and chiefs
Ka ka du ko ngo.
for you to know them because you'll be interacting with them.
De lama.
For you to know their names, so it's good
Ya
for you to
to
know
nga
their
no
names.
ke.
I was talking here today.
Ma Ibrahim Biya Jinu.
My name is Abraham Biagino.
Ma hendi da woni. Ke kwa la ngana.
I'm in the headquarters town called Hendy of this district.
Ka se.
Thank you very much. So,
De la no ya.
Nano Gre. I'm Moses D. Washington, clan chief of this clan.
Nyanga Tony Nyanga Nei or Kalung General Local Government to General Tanji Banya.
so where you are today, he's a general town chief for this area.
Nyaba Mega
He the one looking all this place for you.
Nyanga Nababanaka
These are big people.
Kaifetia.
I gave my blessing to them.
Okay. Ulogula Yin play Kaifuma.
This is our own son here. He too, he have our blessing as well.
Kuleba go no go no say like Kaifuma.
I also we support our brother Jordan who have been here, our son Jordan who have been here with us.
Nila
I'm happy very much.
Agama Joseph A. Saki.
He's called Joseph Isaki.
He ka da it daga aka
Akka. The meaning of it is Akka.
aka.
Okay, so what's the name of this town?
Nyaigalabo.
Bagrena Kang Bagrena Carbon Bagrena or connected to that.
So this area is called Baglena, but the town we just power by Jerusalem is called Billing. And then, Honorable,
Yeah.
you introduce yourself to the press quickly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Prince B. Cody. I'm the special assistant to Onofole E. Formula. Like I said, I'm the special assistant to Onofole E. Formula, the representative of the district number 7, Bong County. So I was sent to represent him on these occasions, and the message sent by me will be read to the press. Chief and local representative, members of the LEC team, director of the LEC World Bank, respite PRU, members of the press, etc. The honorable representative of district number 7 sent his DPS apology that he is unable to attend this important field visit today, with the government still being formed. The honorable representative has inescapable commitment to move to inescapable commitment he must attend to. He has asked that I read the following statement. He said, I send my sincere apology for not being able to attend this important field trip, especially given that nothing is more important to me than the development of Bong County and the well-being of the good people I represent in district number 7. I have been fully briefed on this, the Simple River second hydropower project, knowing geometrically as SP2 and the huge benefit it will have on our great country, and of course on Bong and the district that surround district number 7. And this project have my full and overwhelming support. The SP2 project will bring huge development benefit to Bong County and the nation. It has the potential to bring 150 to 250 megawatt of affordable and renewable energy to our people, as well as job and the technical training associated with its construction and operation. It will also bring benefit and job to the agricultural, tourism and mining sectors, including bone mines, and to the trader and businesses of the county. If we are successful doing this administration and doing my first term in office, we can bring to our great nation the largest development project Liberia has ever seen. Indeed, it could be argued that a project of this magnitude and impact constitute more than an act of nation building than of development. On the local level, as well as the job and training, the SP2 project will bring a road connection, the SP2 site and Bong mines. The West African Power Pool and the World Bank have already funded and refurbishment of the existing access road to the SP2 site to facilitate the geotechnical drilling investigation. The full project will bring a full surface road and bridges. It will also connect Bong and surrounding villages to the main LEC grid when completed. And as part of the project, I am lobbying hard to support the early constructions of the road, and I believe early constructions of the road a year ahead of the project starting will greatly benefit the Liberian economies. Indeed, every year SP2 operations will add additional 100 million to our economies. What is more, during the wet season, we as a nation will be able to support excess generations we do not need, and domestically to the wider West African region. I also understand that the SP2 is part of the planned LEC strategy for generations system along the Simple River call a cascade system. This cascade system is being designed to that SP2 will feed Mancoffit hydro during the dry season, and especially a via storage resource upstream will feed both SP2 and Mancoffit. However, this project is still many years away from completion. We as a new administration have much to do to make this work. Indeed, the hard work has just begun, and it will be incumbent on us all to support our extreme new president to make this dream happen. We have been blessed with funding for a full and bankable feasibility study that must be completed to the very high of international standard if we are to extract the funding required for this project. And this is a very important point indeed, because we all need to convince our international partners and friends this project will be designed, procured, and delivered to the highest of these international recognized standard, and that will guide the respect those standards, though both the delivery and the next 70 years of the operations. Without the ongoing confidence and the funding support of our international partners, where we have no project, building and maintaining the confidence is incumbent on us all. We are honored to have with us today LEC World Bank Respite Project implementation implementation unit director, and I will defer to his technical expertise. I also gathered he is no stranger to Liberia, sorry, having been the director of the Mancoffit hydro plant reforestment during the last Unity Party administration, and it with great pleasure that I take note that both the Unity Party and this gentleman have now returned to complete His Excellency, the President of Liberia, energy sectors rescue missions in the form